Hey, what's up everybody? HTG Brian here with our first look at LEGO Horizon Adventures. That's right, we're going to jump right into the story and check out the Prologue section, which is going to unlock a trophy called A Bit Early to Celebrate. Now, although this is not a traditional LEGO game with the story and free play and free roam, we still have our guide writer Dougie going deep into the paint so that he can see what this is all about and write a guide for us, not only on a written version on our website, but also one that I can make videos out of. Now, as we go ahead and begin our first playthrough here, it actually pops up a difficulty selector. I know I'm getting pretty old, but I do not remember any other LEGO game giving you the choice of difficulty, but we're going to keep it simple. We're going to go with Scout and see what that's all about. On that note, let's jump into our first cutscene.
In the far future, there are no TVs, no smartphones, no social media, just beautiful and totally not boring nature everywhere. Oh, and giant robot dinosaurs, of course. Nobody knows where they came from, or what happened to the ancient world of cars, skyscrapers, and funny cat videos that existed once. It's what the people who live in these times call a mystery. And it's not the only one. Years ago, Tirsa, the leader of her tribe, found a baby girl all alone in the mountains. Nobody knows where she came from either. And since orphans in stories always bring trouble, that made the villagers a little nervous. So the mysterious child was raised outside of the village by the hunter Rost. He named her Aloy. Open wide. He soon discovered she had a natural talent for hitting targets. And watching Aloy grow over the years, helping to hone her skills, filled him with great joy and satisfaction. But through it all, Aloy wondered each and every day, where had she come from? Who was her mother? And why the heck had she been left in the mountains? Questions only Tirsa, the old lady who found her, could answer. But you're not here to listen to me go on and on. This is a game, not an audiobook. So let's join Aloy as she embarks on an epic adventure on the day she travels to the village of Mother's Heart for the first time.
Oh, what better way to start the day than with some nutritious healing berries?
I could eat. All right, we're going to go ahead and be jumping in and out of cutscenes, so my commentary will be coming and going. And I don't know if that's good or bad for you guys. I know some of you prefer the commentary, and others actually would rather it be more silent. So, hey, we got some health trees here. So that's how you replenish your health, is these little blue glowing trees. Simply get close to them, and you probably notice my heart went up a half a click, which gave me full stuffs. Next, we need to simply make our way to that waypoint marker, which should trigger another cinematic scene.
The day is finally here. Like, right here. Because it's today!
Well, you wait long enough. Every day gets here eventually.
I wonder what Mother's Heart is like. And Tirsa, of course. What do you think she's gonna tell me? She has to know something, right? I mean, she found me, so if anyone knows anything.
Oh, slow down. We have to get there first. Maybe you can work off some of that energy on the way. What do you say to a little training?
I say, look out, training. Here comes Aloy!
This was a big day for Aloy, all right. First time seeing the village of Mother's Heart. First chance to ask Tirsa about her mother. And first time having her thoughts and feelings narrated.
All right, let's talk progression. This game is not a traditional LEGO game, meaning it does not have story, free play, and free roam. So what does 100% look like? Well, the trophy list and the 100% are not the same. In fact, you don't even need to 100% the game in order to platinum the trophy list, which is kind of awkward as well. But essentially, as you play through, each level will reward the player with something like a gadget, a rare weapon, or perhaps a gold brick. At this time, I'm not even sure how many gold bricks are actually in the game, but in order to reach platinum, you only need to acquire 50 of them. That's kind of crazy. There are also a bunch of outfits, and some roofs or yards that need to be tended to. And we also have decorations and community jobs, as well as upgrades. Now, speaking of upgrades, we just found ourselves a chest and popped open some monies. Again, we're still in the early phases of our guide writing, so we're still trying to figure out the details, but it looks as though the studs will be how you purchase your outfits, and the outfits are found in the main hub world, more commonly known as Mother's Heart. It will eventually be a pretty happening place, but as we make it there in the prologue, none of the merchants or any of the items have been built. I also want to point out that there is some imminent death here. Watch that next step. It's a bluesy. Did you see that? It actually turned me blue. Okay. I'll leave it alone. Now, you might notice there are multiple paths throughout the game. And of course, there are probably going to be some routes that you're going to want to stick to versus, others that you'll want to avoid. We get to do some tight pants tight roping. We haven't done that in a while, but basically the goal is to go ahead and explore as much as possible because you never know what you'll find. Look at that. We found another chest and a healing tree. And of course, we still haven't figured out the stud totals yet either. We've got different colors than we've ever seen before. We got red and orange. I know we've had gold before, but those are some different colors. So we'll have to figure out the amounts. As you probably noticed too, the stud counter is actually very minuscule compared to what we're used to as well. We keep picking up studs, but we're only at 315. Look at that. That chest just gave me 53 for popping it open. I mean, that whole chest was less than a gold stud normally would be? We got 100 for a gold, right? Isn't that right? Blue 1,000. All right, use the old zip line. It should be noted, too, that anytime you run into one of those zip lines, it is a point of no return, as they are downward sloped, and you can't exactly climb your way back up there. Speaking of climbing, let's get back up where we're supposed to be and follow the old waypoint marker, as we will actually trigger another sequence here. In fact, we get a little target practice.
How about some warm-up shots? You remember how it goes, don't you? You ready an arrow, and then you pull the string.
Very funny. Gets funnier every time you say it.
I know, right?
All right, before we jump into some target practice, let's drop down on this lower ledge and find ourselves another chest. As the game will reward you for exploring, it's not necessarily going to be quite like we're used to, right? Normally there's all sorts of hidden pathways and all these things, and eventually we might find some of that stuff, but I think the pathway to the story is going to be pretty linear, forcing us to go through certain paths. But make sure you do explore anything and everything and try to get as many studs as possible, as that will help you with later purchases. How about that aim? All right, we take down all 3 targets. I love the comments here, too. You gotta love the Lego commentary. It is probably a little bit better than mine, maybe. And just the humor, just the way they spin things. Now, if you guys have played Horizon Zero Dawn, the story is, a little bit on the dark side, and it's kind of interesting to see how they've lightened it up to make it more Lego friendly. Because, the Lego audience is pretty friendly. They don't like the scary stuff. They don't like the gore. They don't like a lot of that. So knowing that this game was sort of borderline, I was curious to see how they've spun it. And so far, it's been hilarious as expected. All right, we're just going to keep on with the keeping on, make our way across this bridge, which should actually put us into Mother's Heart, which will also trigger another cutscene. Look at me just trying to destroy everything. Gotta break it all, gotta break it all.
I have something for you. A strange device Tirsa found next to you when you were a baby. It's called a focus?
I won't ask why you've kept it from me all this time because I'm just too excited. Gimme! Huh. Does it go looks like it goes here.
Well, come on. I've waited years to find out what it does.
Whoa. I can see stuff shining on those targets. Like it's telling me where to shoot. This must be so rare. Like one of a kind.
Actually, Tirsa found a whole bag. Always good to have some spares, right? For friends and family?
All right, starting to feel a little bit more Horizon-y now that we've got our focus. This will allow us to scan the area and blip off any points of interest. In this case, it's actually our training dummy. There are 4 weak points, and they are noted on the ground with circles. Simply approach the circle, pop off an arrow from each location, and it should take the dummy down. Right after this, it actually explains that we can shoot an arrow over fire, and it will carry on its path on fire, melting anything and doing extra damage. Now, we'll get back to that in a hot second, but first, let's go ahead and pick up this bomb, 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 bomb. It's actually a barrel, but it'll explode and take him out, and on to the next cutscene we go.
You've been toasting that machine dummy since you were 5, but it never gets old.
Excuse me, Rost. The dummy has a name. And it's Fred.
Sorry, Fred.
It's okay, he forgives you.
Put some respect on Fred's name. All right, now in the upper left-hand corner, there is a wall that has some what looks like debris blocking a path. I shoot it a couple of times, but my brain doesn't trigger the fact that I should use the old melter ability by shooting an arrow across the fire. But here, as we progress to the next waypoint marker, it actually suggests that that is a possibility. So I'm going to double back here in a second. Pretty cool, too, that they got the tall grass that we can sneak around in. It's feeling more and more like Horizon every second we play. And, you know, for what it's worth, Horizon was one of my favorite games of that year. I did not connect as much with Forbidden West for whatever reason, but I really enjoyed the first one, and it's kind of made me want to go back. And with the remaster popping up recently, it's got me really on the fence. So be looking for an HTG stream where we might bring that back, because that was a fun game. All right, we've gone ahead and used an arrow, shot it across the fire, and melted or burned off all the debris on the wall there. I don't know if anybody watches Letterkenny or not, but they don't say debris, they say debris. And that's something that I sort of stuck around with, and figure I should explain it before I get everybody confused. All right, we got another patch of, I guess it's some sort of, what are we calling that, shrubbery? We'll go ahead and burn it down and climb up to the top, which we're going to find another chest. Pop it like it's hot and collect another 53 studs. Now, so far, Dougie, what's that next step? Dougie has mentioned that each chest has anywhere from like 25 to 100 studs. I don't know if there's a set number for different colors. We'll figure that out as more time progresses. I think we've covered everything in this area, so let's jump on the old zip line and see what's down below.
That's one ticked off broadhead. Remember, don't let it charge at you. Might be best to sneak up on it. As long as you stay in the long grass, it won't see you.
Yeah, I know, but it's so itchy.
Aloy had heard stories of the days when the metal creatures were docile and peaceful. It made her think that maybe destroying them wasn't the nicest thing to do. Then one would headbutt her in the face and she'd get over it.
All right, so if anybody's ever watched one of my live streams, you've probably discovered that I am not the best at sneaking around. I get busted almost immediately trying to sneak up on that broadhead, but it doesn't do it much good knowing that I'm there because I take him down. And look at that, we actually leveled up now too. We actually got more bow damage as well, so that's pretty sweet. We need to get all the characters up to level 20. Now, as far as we can tell, there are 4 different playable characters, but Doug will confirm that soon enough.
Did you see me out there? I've got all the moves. Now I just have to meet Tirsa, find out who my mother was, and life will be pretty much perfect.
Don't start celebrating yet. It's bad luck.
Right, bad luck.
Besides, there's one more thing you must face before we go on.
What?
Lunch. Thought you might get the munchies, so I got up early and made you your favorite sandwich.
Pickle? Nice! What are we waiting for? I'm starving here!
Wait. Hear that? Sounds like Mother's heart is in trouble. It's under attack.
They're taking people away. We have to do something.
We're too far away, Aloy.
Look, there's people moving over there.
Come on, move it.
Let us go, you wingnuts! Let us go!
Nice try, Grandma.
I ain't your grandma, pasty white butt
No,
face.
that was Tirsa, wasn't it?
She's still at it. Stop messing around. Helis is waiting for us.
Wow, celebrating too early is bad luck.
We have to help her.
Come on, let's find out what happened.
No. Yes.
Boygashow! Our first LEGO Horizon Adventures trophy!
Mother's heart was far emptier than the village Aloy had imagined. Then again, a strange cult had just kidnapped a bunch of people, so the place was quieter than usual. But I'll let Sona, the villager's tough defender, fill you in. Take it away, Sona.
I can't believe this happened on my watch. Cultists right inside Mother's heart.
What happened?
I went out to deal with some machines prowling outside our gates, but it was all part of the cult's plan. Just as I was giving this nasty broadhead a wedgie, I realized something didn't smell right. By the time I got back, Tirsa and the others were gone.
How many people did they take?
You know how hard it is to count without fingers. All I know is we have to save them. But I can't leave my post again.
Don't worry. We saw the way they went. We'll get Tirsa and the others back.
One more thing. My son, Varl. He ran off on a rescue mission before I could stop him. The boy's got a good heart, but he's not ready for this kind of trouble.
All right, the story has been laid out. We're officially in Mother's heart, and as you can see here, there is not a lot going on just yet. However, we will be back as each level progresses. I do believe it actually respawns us here, and we'll pretty much be coming and going from this spot. This is where a lot of the purchasing and things will get done. Now, what does our guide look like? Well, as it sits, we have plans to cover the story in full. The story is broken down into 5 acts, each with 5 levels, roughly taking 10 to 15 minutes each. And once you complete those, you'll be getting all the gold bricks and the monies that you need in order to progress the other things. Now, like I mentioned earlier, we do have multiple characters that will need to be grinded out to level 20. This will likely be done replaying the story bits. I think they call it like expedition mode or something like that. So although there is no free play where you replay, they do give you the option to go back and revisit those levels. Now, there also is the Apex Machine Hunting Grounds, which is related to a trophy. And if you've played the main game, you should be familiar with what that should be expecting. Now, other than that, we just have some trophy achievement cleanup that we'll be doing. And for the most part, that's pretty much our guide. This game is more or less play it and plat it, but we will have some tips and tricks and some videos along the way. So all in all, we should be having somewhere around 30-ish videos for this, and that's probably about 25 more than you'll need, but we're going to go ahead and cover it anyway. So, hey, look at that. We've actually made it to the beginning of the first level, which we'll be back for that in another video. Guys, if you have not already, please click that like button down below. It helps us more than you know. And of course, check our trophy achievement guides out on HappyThumbsGaming.com, including a trophy guide for this particular one, LEGO Horizon Adventures. But guys, that's going to go ahead and do it for me. I got lots of work to do, so I'm going to go get to it. As always, until next time,